Right, it's going to be a bit of a different style of video today. I'm going to be going over, on this whiteboard / paper, how I made $97,000 as a growth operator at the age of 20. I literally turned 20 during this month of June that we made 97K in. This month of July, we have just cracked 110K in revenue. All of this around a 60 to 70% margin. Even this month, we got one of these Watt plaques. So that was pretty cool for a client. And I'm going to be breaking down where the money came from, how I made it, and also all of the lessons that I learned in the process, because I've been in business for 2 years, a year running the agency itself. So it's been pretty cool to see how quickly we've grown. So first of all, hopefully you can see this. Agency revenue was $50,500 this month. That was about $65,000. So definitely an increase in the rev share payments from the agency, setup fees, whatever it may be. Actually, no, sorry. Last month it was 63K as well, if you include build and releases and different setup fees. So we have 4 clients paying us rev shares, 2 of which were $16,000 in June. 7K retainer was for a media buying deal where we just kind of do the marketing, no sales management for that one. Then 11K from the last deal and a 1K month retainer upsell with a current client, as well as 2 build and release deals, one with rev on the first webinar that we do, and one was just a build and release evergreen webinar with no revenue on the back end, which were both £5,000 each, totaling to $13,200. So $63,000 in agency revenue. Now, the thing is with agency revenue is that obviously I have to have a team. This includes like a sales manager, media buyer, copywriter, back-end guy. And so expenses on the team side were $22,600 for the month of June. This month it's actually going to be even more, so my margin is going to be a bit less on the agency because we did less build and release. Typically on the rev share payouts, obviously I'm paying my sales manager quite a big portion of that because he does so much. Shout out to you, Dom. And yeah, so margin overall on the info last month, we made 63K, 22K in expenses, so about a 65% margin on that. Then we have consulting / the info part of my business. So essentially, I made a lot of money growth operating, and a lot of people through my YouTube content, literally on this channel, they reach out to me or they book via the links in the description and they want help to sign clients themselves, use our SOPs, get coaching directly from me to help them scale their agencies. And so in total, we had $8,600 in recurring income coming in June for that, and $22,000 in new cash. And that is literally practically the exact same as this month, made about 30K in July. Except there was a lot more recurring and a lot less new cash this month, even though I was still pushing the same amount of content. And the reason why like the consulting, the inner circle that I run did so well this month is because I ran a webinar and I did sign quite a few clients from the webinar. Now, as you can imagine, consulting / info, like I'm the only one doing it. I pay my team for some of the coaching calls that they do inside of my group. And literally the expenses are, I spent $1,500 on ads for myself for the webinar that we did. And then I paid out $2,100 out of the 30K in referrals, which is pretty crazy. You can tell I run a solid info product because I think 3 deals came through referrals last month, and I tend to get a lot of referrals. So yeah, that is for the coaching side. So 30K in cash, this is all cash collected by the way, not revenue, in cash with about $3,000 in expenses. So that's about a 90% margin. And then between the agency and consulting, there's probably about $500 in software costs that you can factor in there between both, that like, cause I'll use Typeform I'll use Calendly for both, you know what I mean? And then in terms of miscellaneous income, we also had $2,000 come in for event ticket sales in July, which were last minute ticket sales because I'll chuck some B-roll on the screen, but we hosted an event for, well, I met my team and also hosted it for consulting inner circle type clients. And it was sick, but I probably lost about $5,000 putting it on. And those losses I kind of attributed to this month of July. And yeah, we just lost basically quite a bit of money on the event. However, I signed a client literally like there at the event. I signed a client who said, oh, I'd love to meet in person. You were in the same area of Spain, brilliant. Signed him, and just the content from it, just like the brand awareness and the trust that it builds, like it's next level. So although I lost money there, like this, I wouldn't really count as profit, but because I said I made 97K, I got to tell you exactly where it came from. So about 63K, 30K, and then 2K, that makes 95. But if you add up the hundreds, it makes about 97. This month, very similar, just a bit more from the agency, a bit around the same from the consulting, and then a few event tickets were sold in July as well because the event was in July. So, more importantly, what did I learn from all of this? What did I learn? So I thought to myself, okay, what can I give people, you know, age of 20, only been running the business for a year or two. As a growth operator, I realized that I need to take way more control. So to tell a story about this, and the reason I put in brackets publishing here, is because our best clients in the agency, this month we just hit a record month. I'm talking about July. This month of July, we've hit a record month with our client Phil. He's done $188,000 in cash collected. I'm recording this on August 1st. Last month he did 188K, 4x return on ad spend, completely cold traffic. And the reason we were able to do that, and the reason why with some clients we're not able to do that, is simply because he's got balls, he wants to put them on the table. He wants to spend money on ads. He records content very, very quickly. He's very, very hungry. He listens to what we say, and he is a very, very driven entrepreneur. He is not perfect, he does have his faults, but he is an amazing client to work with, and he trusts us. We are the experts. A lot of operators I see, the number one thing I say in my consultant group is like, you guys just need better frame and positioning and you need better clients, because it makes the whole process of running the business model that I run, where you have equity in other businesses on their cash flow, way better. We are trusted as the experts and we have control. And the reason I mentioned the word in brackets there, publishing, is because this month we ran the first webinars for a publishing launch that we're doing in a certain niche. And at the moment, we're kind of like break even. We probably made like a few grand in profit. This is after like all expenses, sales team expenses. Like we own the business and the person we're partnering with is 50-50 on the profit that the business makes, but we take all the decisions and we are like, we're doing this, it's my ad spend. And with those offers, although this month we've broken even, some issues with messaging, some things we have to fix in the funnel, sales team getting ramped up, I am so confident that that offer is gonna go to 100, 200, 300K a month, just as quick as some of the like clients that have huge organics that we're working with, or bigger organics, simply because we have more control and we can basically do what we want. The best clients that we work with, we have the most control, we have the most incentive, the most rev share, because we obviously want to make as much money as possible. And just another point on that, don't have too many clients. Do not have, like, we have 5 done for you clients at the moment in the agency. And I think that that is a lot. I think that that is a lot. And I'm considering like, okay, if we do bring on another client, what happens with the existing clients? Can we maintain the service? Do I need to make more hires, which we're going to speak about? Because it gets very difficult past 5, 6, 7 done for you clients if you're having to do a lot for them. If they're not very great clients who take a lot of initiative themselves and are actively trying to scale their businesses, not just kind of run it as like a side info business, it can get very, very difficult. So taking on less deals, charging way more as well. Like we now charge like minimum 10K. You are not getting done for you from us if you're not paying 10K setup like most of the time, unless there's a different incentive on the back end. Like for a publishing deal, they don't pay a setup fee. We are the ones like making the business, but a contract to sign, etc., etc. But to sign on a new client or to do any sort of like build and release, done with you consulting is different, but any sort of build and release, any sort of like setup fee, it just has to be more, because I could just spend that time scaling my current clients who are paying me, like in my pocket, it is like 10% at the end of the day. So if we take them to 300K a month, 400K a month, if I just double their business, which is easier than taking in a whole other business from scratch or from not a lot of good systems in place, it's a no-brainer. So that's number 1, take more control. Number 2 is hire people who can be CEOs of their role. Now, this is something that I've learned. I built my team. We are a team of 7 at the moment. I had the pleasure of meeting many of them this month in Spain. And I was thinking, okay, what separates the best team members that I have from the ones that I think could improve? Simply being the CEOs of their role. They do everything that they can in their own time. They are essentially, I'm telling them, I don't want you to come to me for this. I want you to take decisions away from me. I want you to be the CEO of this role. For example, my sales manager, Dom. I don't have to look at it. I can give him advice. We can chat, like, where can we improve? I completely trust him. Same with the setter manager we hired. Same with Simon, my co-founder, who runs kind of the ads side of most of our clients' businesses. CEOs of their role. And how you do this is by, number 1, setting that correct expectation from the get-go and having clear roles and responsibility documents. This is what you're responsible for. Go out and achieve it. I can give you all the training, I can give you all the SOPs, but I can't teach that hunger and that initiative and that drive to be someone who is excellent at what they do in every aspect, because that's kind of what I want, what I command, what I want to show to my team of like, every single one of the people on my team, if they are CEOs of their role, they can make everyone else so much money. If suddenly our sales manager gets some demon closes on, trains them up, and they are closing at like 70%, every single other person on the team makes more money. And it's the same for every single person on our team. So I'm like, everyone needs to be the CEO of their roles for the communal impact to be strong. So everyone is driven and everyone sees the other sacrifices everyone else makes. It's important to set that expectation in the onboarding, give people the right information, give people the right SOPs. Third thing I learned, have a great product and never stop finding ways to improve it. So this is like something we've done for our clients, like helping them restructure their offers, helping them add different things to their offers that make the perceived value higher and also make them get more client results. But the main reason I wrote this is because I just thought, wow, I did pay a lot of money. I paid $2,000 in referrals this month. Wow. So, and that was for my consulting product. Sometimes I pay referrals for the agency, of course, but $2,000 in referrals for like a info/consulting, pretty cool. It's simply because I've always iterated on my product. I started building the SOPs for my agency and people came to me, wanted to learn more. I was like, what? Like, okay, cool. And every single time we learned something in the agency, for example, a year ago, we'd never ran ads and now we're crushing. Every single time we learn something, we're updating it. Now we're going to be launching a low to high funnel. Just a little note, I am really bullish on low to high funnels. I think there's been like a really big wave of webinars, trust recession. I think low to high is going to be really good going into next year. Anyway, I digress. We'll see if that is a true prediction. It's just because I've constantly iterated, constantly made the product better to the point where people know that it's very, very good. I get very, very good results for my clients. I've hosted events. It's great. It's fucking great. So next, take bigger risks. In June, where I made this money, and this month, I took on some pretty big risks, namely hiring. Like I hired more people and I sacrificed more like money. Just I'll hire that person, I've got to pay them. And that was kind of like, damn, a little risk I had to take. Spending my own money, not only on my own ads, which is of course fine, but also on publishing deals. Am I that confident in our ability as marketers to like build basically an info product from scratch and build everything from scratch with literally no organic? Well, yeah, I have the balls to do that. I'm taking bigger risks. Content. Am I investing in, like I bought this whole whiteboard thing, the pens, the pad, like cost me like $100. Okay, like that's nothing to me if this video does well on YouTube. Mastermind, I lost probably like, if you really count it, I probably lost like 5K on the mastermind that I hosted for my clients. I could have charged them more and I could have broken even, but you know, it's in the past now. Me hosting that and me getting content from that $5,000 is like a risk, you could say. I could have kept that. I could have invested it in the S&P 500, but I know that the compound effect from me doing that into my brand, into the content, into everything else is just monumentally great. And it's also a very, very good experience. I met my team. I gave my team a really good experience. I didn't ask them to pay for anything. No, they were there as my guests. Cool. Number 5, what did I learn? Track your finances. I have tracked my finances on like a spreadsheet, it just says income and it says like expenses. And I just track every single one, like unless it's like $2 here, $3 here, I might not log it. Every single payment, so I know exactly, and that's how I made the sheet before of like, okay, 60K from the agency, 30K, here are my expenses, because I track everything. A lot of people don't track, and so they say, oh, I make 100K in revenue, and they don't realize that only 10, 20K is hitting their bank account at the end of every single month. Really bad, do not do it. Also, another point, like this is just something I've seen, like I've said this so many times to people that I know, but way too many people in the online marketing info kind of space, none of them have any money, like none of them save money. And for me to be able to take bigger risks, I have to live a chill life. I can't go out there and spend money on a Lamborghini. I bought my mum a car this month, which was really cool, but I can't go out there and buy a Porsche. I can't go out there and ball out in the club and spend all this money and travel and stay in fancy hotels, because if I want my business to get to 100, well, it's at 100, but 200, 300K, 100K a month in profit, let's say 200K in revenue, 100K in my pocket every month, I have to be able to take these big risks. And to be able to take these big risks, I have to have the cash flow, which comes from tracking finances. Next, health. health is actually something that I have neglected a lot. 2 years ago, I ran a marathon. I was probably the strongest I've ever been, in the best shape. And because obviously I started a business, that took a lot of time, took a lot of stress. But I've realized that even without a lot of time, you just have to be in control, because it is inputs that you do, like how you do everything is how you do, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. Everyone always says that. But I think the main thing for me is just like sticking to my word and also feeling my best. Like, especially with travel, like I've been super jet lagged like the last few months, and we've scaled, but it's been difficult. And just being back home, and of course I went to do the mastermind, but that was like a week. Being back home has been amazing for me to just have my setup, have a routine, be in good health, go to the gym, go for a run like I did this morning. Something I learned. And the final thing is content is king. No wonder I'm recording this video. This is content. I just thought, okay, what's like a cool new format I can do on YouTube? Whiteboard style video. Let's break down kind of, like no one really shows you this kind of stuff. So I thought, why not do it? Content is so important. It has given me like unlimited opportunities just from hosting this mastermind. I lost like $5,000 on it. Cool. I signed clients from it already. So that money's kind of already made back. Okay, it's paid for itself. Then one of the pieces of content that I posted from the mastermind, one of my clients reposted it, one of my agency clients. One of his friends who is in a similar vehicle saw it and potentially wants to work with us. That might be a $10,000 setup fee, and who knows the lifetime value of that deal if we can scale them to a high level inside of the agency. So yeah, also, final thing is do more. A lot of people get to a certain level in business and they get comfortable and they're like, it's good. For me, I could have just said, yeah, I'm good at sales, I'm good at setting, closing, could have stayed at closer. Yeah, I got into sales management, could have just been a sales manager, but no, I've chosen to learn and develop more and more and more. And the reason I can run a full stack agency and manage a team to be able to do that and sign the clients and get them results is because I've learned so many different skills and I've never stopped learning. Content being another skill. Hopefully my personal brand blows up this year. Who knows, maybe this video will go viral. Maybe you'll be watching it and it has like 200 views, who knows? But yeah, those are the things I learned.